Hi everyone, this is Patrick from Small Broom Productions, and I got another video tutorial here for you guys today. Really sorry, I know it's been a while since I made a video. Kind of was on vacation, kind of came back, and a little busy when I came back, but here we are again with a new video tutorial. So today is all about DI guitars. Yeah, that's right. Now, how do I feel about this? Totally advocate DI guitars. Why? They're going to be used as a failsafe. If you go ahead, you plug in your DI guitar into an Apogee One or whatever interface you have, and you record the performance using an amp simulation, or you split the signal by from the DI box, one going to your interface, the other one going to the amp. And the reason why you want to do this is, let's say a few hours pass by, or you've recorded the guitars and you come back to it a couple of days later and you and the band realize, that sound is not working, it's not fitting with anything. If you didn't use a DI guitar, you would have to just re-record all the guitars again. But since you were smart and you had recorded the DI tracks, you are now able to go ahead, reamp your DI guitars, and simply be able to get the sound that you're looking for now. So what I want to do is go ahead and explain a little bit of what you should do when recording DI guitars. I know there's a lot of you guys at home that are going to be doing this, so I want to show you guys a proper way to go about recording DI guitars. I have a band here, they're called Effigies, and they have a song called Phoenix. Now, I didn't record them, but they sent me these files to have a take a look at, try to do some mixing with them, and I was so happy to see that they had DI guitars. They truly did this correctly. So let me show you what it is that they did here. So let me go ahead and show you. First of all, these guitars, the purple tracks, they're already processed guitars, but they sent me their DI tracks just in case if I wanted to try to find some tones of my own. And well, I certainly did. Not that there was anything wrong with the other tracks, but I was just motivated to try to see what I could make out of this stuff. So here's what we need to do. Since this process of having the guitars recorded is done, let me just explain what you should do. Like any instrument that you are recording, you want to make sure that your gain signal is set up correctly. So let's say you have your guitar, you have your guitar cable, and it's going into your interface. There's that knob on the preamp or on the interface you want to make sure that you set correctly. You don't want to do it all the way up, because then it's going to be distorting. And if you have a distorting DI signal going into your amp simulation, then it's going to sound like crap. So what should it look like? I'm going to go ahead and just let me mute this so we don't hear that. Let's hear just the original DI guitar. Let me put it up the center. Sorry, I know it's a little quiet, but if you guys could hear that, you could hear that, there's nothing special about it. But if you look at the meter, though, again, relatively safe levels. It's not even hitting, yellow on the SPL meter. And that's kind of good. I mean, usually, maybe if it were me, I don't know, maybe this guitar hits more that level. Let me check. It'd probably be better without the amp simulation. So that's a little closer to where I would have it, is around the top of the green going into the yellow on your SPL meters, and that way you have enough headroom, so if there's ever a loud part, you're not going to clip this. So again, key thing here: do not clip. That if there's anything I can stress more, is do not clip. Now, let's go ahead and have fun with the amp simulator. I have Amplitude, like most people do. Some people have Pod Farm. Some people use Guitar Rig, or PV's product, whatever it is. I'm using Amplitude for this example, and you still want to make sure you do the same thing no matter what amp simulation you're doing. So let's go ahead and activate Amplitude. Now, of course, you have all your settings, however you want it to be, so on and so forth. That's great. But what you want to do now is make sure, what's key is that your input level isn't clipping, and you want to make sure your output level is not clipping. Because think about it, guys. you stress so much to try to get these really good guitar sounds, and you want to kind of, with any plugin that you use, any amp simulation, you really want to get to know what all the parameters do. And I notice a lot of people, they get so focused, like, oh, I'm going to make this sound, the sound sounds great, I'm just going to focus on just what I see in front of me here, but they never look at these and wonder what the importance could be. And really, these are two really powerful tools that you can use to make sure that you're going to get a good sound. So with that said, I want to check to make sure that the input level, so whatever the raw audio, the raw DI track coming in, is coming in at a healthy level, not clipping. And obviously that might be a little bit too low from my take, how I would generally do it, but it's already set how it is. I'm kind of enjoying the sound of it already, so I'm not going to touch it. But like I said, I would change it though if it was clearly just lighting up red up here. And also I was paying attention to make sure that over on my master side also wasn't clipping. So now that you have that set, then I would say go ahead and proceed with building your tone. Throw your overscream on there, get your amp and then your amp head, your amp head and then your cab. Set up the mics however you want, however you would do it. Go ahead. Of course, I have some other processing I have here just to kind of sweeten it a little bit, and I have pretty much the same settings on this other guitar here. And I'll go ahead and play you guys what the guitars sound like now. Alright, so that's enough. So you guys can see that's, not a bad sound. So, but I wasn't able to get that sound unless I was paying attention to the key things that you just have to remember with recording. You want to make sure when you record in, you're not clipping. You want to make sure in your amp simulator, you're not clipping in and coming out of it clipping as well. So that way you don't have any, digital distortion, which sounds like crap. And also, I have these other plugins here as well. I have the CLA compressor doing its thing. I also have an EQ from Waves, and I have a de-esser as well. And I'm also having them both being sent to a sub, which has a little bit of tape saturation. But the thing is, in all of those plugins, though, I'm also making sure I'm not clipping. Again, you don't want any of the digital distortion. So you heard the sound, not a bad sound. Let's hear what the original guitars sound like, the processed ones, what they gave me. So that's also a pretty acceptable sound too. What I did realize though, and yes, this is quieter, and this is what I'm going to explain. I was like, okay, their sounds sounds pretty good. Mine I kind of enjoy as well. What is it that I like about the two of them? So I decided to go ahead and blend the two sounds together. Alright, so that's my sound, their sound, and now let me go ahead and add in everything else. And separately, let's go ahead, I'll start with the one I created. And then theirs, I'm going to go ahead and compensate the sound and bring it up. Alright, So there you go, guys. Now you guys know how to set up your gain structure, how to make sure that you are not clipping, so that way you don't have any crappy sounds on your guitars. And with that, you now know how to be able to, you're one step closer to being able to find the perfect tone for your guitar. All right, guys, have a great day. Go out there, make some awesome music. By the way, if you want any of the presets from any of this stuff, let me know. I'll get it for you. See ya.